Alrighty, Gatekeeper here, and boy do I have a unique, very frustrating, very wisdom gaining, very one of a kind so far for me amplifier I have to show you this morning, afternoon, whatever the case may be. Now, you're probably wondering why in the hell is all these parts sitting in front of this amp? Well, you probably could guess these parts came out of this amplifier. And guess what? They're all still good. Well, except these two switches right here. Except these two switches. But everything else, yeah, still good. Perfect working order. This isn't all the parts that came out. There's still a lot of other small, resistors, inductors, stuff like that I did throw away in the trash. And just some other ones I couldn't quite remember what all came in here. I just grabbed what I could remember off the top of my head. Alrighty. Well, before we get started, this is a Palomar TX-150, which I know has to be a rare amp. Because every time I try to find this amplifier, it always brings up the tube type TX-150. CB Tricks does not have this amplifier on their site listed. So I don't know. I guess it fell through the cracks. Or maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it ain't rare. I just know I could never find any information on it whatsoever. I got this amplifier and a bulk of amplifiers from my mentor about 2.5 years ago. And it quickly made its way to the end of the chain there of getting repaired. I actually held on to this amplifier for 2.5 years because I could not figure out how to fix it. And I thought, well, I'll learn more and more and get to it later. Well, here's the symptoms it was having. I'm trying to hurry up and speed through this. You know how Mr. Gatekeeper can flab that big mouth of his. Well, this switch was in here. It's a rotary switch. It's got 3 power sections going through in series through the resistors, and on high or max, it don't flow through any resistors. It was a low, medium, high, and max. When I had it on low, the amplifier worked perfect. Second that I turned it on medium, the amplifier would lock up, meaning it would stay keyed up even when I let off the key, and it would be pulling almost 18 to 19 amps, maybe even more, and the power supply would be in protection. Very weird. Like it was just being stuck in just complete stray oscillation, just being stuck. And I was like, well, I got to figure out what this is and get this fixed. So just out of common sense, I first went to this department, this big module right here. I was like, it's got to be a key-in circuit, key-in transistor, something. So, of course, I had one of these big metal case transistors. I quickly replaced it with a up-to-date plastic transistors, as you can see right there. And that did nothing. There was 2 blown inductors I changed right there. That didn't do anything. I checked all these components on here individually. All that trouble. Nothing. Everything was showing good. So you know what I said? The preamp wasn't working. I was just about to change this metal case right here. Well, you know what? I take that back. I did change. I took this off another broke amp I have for parts, and I put this metal case on here. Yeah, you can see where I soldered that on there, and the preamp still wasn't working. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just rip this whole cat picking module out, throw 2 relays in there myself, wire everything up. I didn't spend enough time with this amp. I knew the traces in it. And then I'll make a preamp for it. At least I'll know a preamp will be working for it as well. And also I want to add the cover for this amp was never on it. it did not come with a cover. So that was another thing that was kind of holding me back. Luckily I found me a cover, but the cover I did find was it was just one complete rust bucket. So yeah, I spent about at least 2.5 hours of labor just on this cover. Nice little paint job, kind of a sparkly black texture, Rust-Oleum type paint. But back to the matter at hand. So I ripped this module out of here, put my own 2 relays in there. Got a smile on my face. Walked back over here to this thing I call a bench, I guess you can say. Temporarily bench. We're working on the final production. Y'all staying with me. Patience. And I hooked it up with a smile on my face, and I was like, well, this will fix it. Still done it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So, all right, let's go ahead and take this top off so you can follow me. Wow, look at that. So the very next thing I did, as you can see, replaced it with 2 relays, preamp circuit, tied everything into the traces that was already on the board. Okay. Very next thing I did was I took this off. I'm like, I bet it's got to have something to do with this, just because that's where I seem to be having the problem when I turn it on medium. Second I go on medium, you know, sometimes even if I go to medium it would work, but the second I hit medium high or anything like that, it's gone. So I took that off. Put a very nice $14 Allen Bradley 2-watt resistor 100 ohm. Used the same knob. Integrated that into the circuit. Turned that bad boy all the way down. Keyed up fine. Eased up. Keyed up. Eased up. Kept keying up. Swinging. Looking good. Second I get about right there at that point, lock up. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Now before this point, I had already replaced these bad switches with 2 used switches out of another unit, but working. It was the power switch and the preamp switch. Okay. Alright, so at this point, excuse me, sorry about that, dropped the phone. At this point, get something to point with here. At this point, I'm looking in here and I'm like, okay, I have changed the whole module. I have changed the variable and put a variable in here. I have changed these 2 switches. I'm sitting here and looking. I'm like, what else the hell could it be? I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to rip out these 2 transformers. I put this metal clad on here. I think what I had done, what I had done after that, y'all bear with me. It's a repair I done about maybe 2 months ago. At first I had took the caps off and checked the caps and just went ahead and replaced them just on the transformers, and I put this metal clad on here I had laying around, and it still done it. So you know what? I said, maybe it's got something to do with these transformers, man. Something. It's got to be. So I take these transformers off. I'll go get me 2 brand spanking new 61 core, may I add, from RF part transformers. Throw a brand new 1000 on there. Throw a brand new 330 on there. Take this old nasty ugly choke that was on there on the input and put a better choke on there. There we go. And guess what? Key up, stuck. Still doing the same damn thing. Okay, so at this point I was very frustrated. I said, you know what? Screw this, man. There's got to be a cap somewhere. So I took every single silver dip mica, every single Miller cap, ceramic cap, anything that holds capacitance out, and replaced it with brand spanking new silver dip micas. This was what you call a negative or positive ground box. I just completely done away with a negative or positive ground, because come on, we don't use negative positive vehicles no more. You had Miller caps right here, Miller cap that run from here to ground over there, which is very weird. Miller caps right here and Miller caps over here. Took them all out, made it just your normal way we do, grounding the heat sink to ground. So I replaced every single cap. Even took this big joker off right here and put a brand new one with higher value, big cap. I think that's like a 300 or 400,000 picofarad. It's a .4. I ain't never seen one before. I had it laying around on the output transformer here, and replaced every cap. And at this point in time, I didn't have no doubts it was going to work. At that point in time, I was going to get it suited up and get it sold. Well, guess what? Still done the same damn thing. At this point, I'm like, this is nuts, man. This is absolutely insane. This is crazy. I mean, I'm pulling my hair out. Almost about to call my mentor, which I have not bothered in over a year and a half. Have not had to bother this fella in over a year and a half. Was just about to call him. And I'm looking in here, and it had two MRF 455s. I said, you know what? It's got to be them pills, man. What the hell else could it be? What else could it be? So I popped them 455s out, and I put in two more used 455s. Same damn thing. Same thing. Same thing. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? At this point, I said, you know what? There's got to be something touching under this board. So I let all these screws up and I look, and there's nothing under this board. This is a single-sided board, which I already knew that. For some reason, I just, was thinking it's got to be, though, still. It's got to be. So at this point in time, I'm like, man, this thing's possessed. At this point, the only thing I can do at this point is I'm too deep now. I'm in way too deep. I'm just going to go ahead and replace every single thing in this amp that I have not replaced yet. So there is no excuse then. If it still don't work then I've got a big problem on my hands. So I replaced these 10 ohms in the back, which I done that when I put the 455s in. All the LEDs were blown. They were running off one 470. I don't know why in the heck they done that, which was not giving these LEDs enough. I gave them their individual current limiting LEDs. The TX LED did not work, because a lot of these older boxes, I have noticed, does not put any kind of current limiting on the TX LED. And if you look, all a person has to do is drive these amps with the type of watts we use these days, and them TX LEDs are going to be gone pretty quickly. Because back in the days, they only drove these amps with 5 watts, maybe 10 at the most. And that's how they kind of had the TX circuit built. So just for you, any of you out there needing to fix a TX circuit, throw you a 470, a 270, anywhere from a 270 ohm to a 470 ohm on the TX light. You're good to go when you do that. It'll never go out again. Replace the cap for the TX light, and replace the diode over here that's doing the rectification to a DC signal for that LED right there. And then I went ahead and went to the dang trouble too to rewiring all the switches. They had a non-Teflon wire, of course, like they used in the old days. It was all jumbled up to where you couldn't see nothing that was going on at right here at the switches. So the way I looked at it, let's take all the wire off. Maybe I can see something in between the switches that I couldn't see before when I take them off. Took them all off, replaced them with Teflon with the shortest runs possible. Okay. While I was at it, I wanted to wait and tell you this at this point. While I was at it, just so I can say that I dang done it. This switch right here, no, this sideband switch right here is a brand new switch I ordered off eBay. I didn't even know I had it till I was playing around with this. I popped that switch out, and actually that switch is one of these. I can't remember where that third switch is. I might have used it on, I think I did use it on another amp. So I popped that in, just so, you know, you don't never know, man. I was like, okay, well, I know that's new. So I'm replacing everything. Alright. Then I come up here, and the way they had this power, y'all bear with me. The way they had this power wire done, you can tell how much I love doing what I do. So y'all be like, why is he so excited about this? Whew, you'll see why. Listen to me. The way they had this power wire done, the power and the ground both came in on the same side right here. The power wire, which was like a 14 gauge wire, maybe, came across the whole amp like this and went to the power switch right here, okay? Then another wire that looked smaller than that wire came back this way to the back of the transformer. I don't like the way they do that. First off, I don't like the way they're using the switch as a power bus. I'm sure a lot of you other techs and builders out there will agree with me. I don't like that. I don't know if a lot of you techs have ever thought about this, but a lot of times the power buses are actually acting as capacitors. I ain't gonna get into that. I've gotten in some debates about that, and I've heard a lot of real technicians make me look like I'm just an ant agree with me and ask me, wow, that's something I didn't understand until I was in the game for a long time. A lot of people don't even know that when you're using them hot buses on them homebrew amps. What do you think them copper boards are? The whole copper board is a dang capacitor. Just think about it. So, what I did was, they had this thing right here, and pretty much it's just a strip that's a little bit bigger right here, and it goes all the way across back here, and then right here, not before here, but right here, get a little piece of solder up right there. I'll get that up here in a minute. I'm a perfectionist, y'all. Right here, not before here, but right here is when the ground finally comes on into the ground plane of the amp, okay? So this right here is your weakest link of the whole tower amp. The ground went right here and had to travel down the amp all the way down this way, then finally come through this thin piece. So here to here's thin as tin foil was the weakest link of the amp. That was basically your strongest part of your ground. Well, excuse me, yeah, your strongest part of your ground, because I had to go through here to get to here. So what I've done with a Dremel is just Dremeled this right here and made a square. Threw me a little protection diode, a little transient diode right there. Dremeled a square, brought the power wire in right here, good 8 gauge. It's way overkill, but I just use it anyway. There ain't nothing wrong with overkill. Brought it into there and put me a choke, because this thing had no choke on the power wire at all. You've got to have at least some sort of choke on the power wire. Builders, technicians, y'all know that. That's one of the first things I learned, man. And hell, I ain't even no technician. I'm just a hobbyist. Oh, me. and put a choke and boom. Okay, so I strengthened that up. Then what I did is I came over here and drilled another hole in the back of the box. Brought this wire in and dropped it right here. Instead of having to go through this little thin piece right here, dropped it right here. Just went ahead and threw me a ferrite bead on there too. Sometimes I'll go ahead and throw one on the ground. That is never a bad idea. A lot of people say it don't mean much, but hey, it definitely ain't hurting nothing. The way I look at it, this thing flows in a circle. It's a DC circuit mixed with AC, but there'll be a little ferrite bead on there too, and it strengthened the ground up incredibly. Okay, so at this point of time where I'm sitting, I had replaced every single thing on this whole amp. Well, except the SO239s, but they ain't got nothing to do with nothing, right? Hook it up, key up, stick. I'm like, what in the... I stand up, man, about grab this amp, almost throw it on the ground across the room. I'm like, this thing's possessed. Man, I just get up, walk in the house, man. Walk outside on the other side of the house, smoke a cigarette, and it hits me. I'm like, dude, the only other Mayuckenfay thing, a little bit of pig Latin for you, that I have not replaced is the goddamn cotton picking, cotton jobbing SO239s. But what in the hell would that have to do with locking up, oscillating? Dang, undo the mic, sit the mic beside me, still pulling over 18 amps plus. What does that got to do with anything? Screw it, I'm replacing it. And if this cotton picking amp's still doing the same thing, I'm done with it, man. I'm done. I'm selling it as it is. At least I'll get something because of all the new parts in it. Well, let me tell you, at this point in time, all the parts in here was new, except these two switches right here and here, and the 455s were used. But I'm getting to that. The 455s aren't in there now. We'll get to that in just a second. So I put these brand new SO239s in here. Flip it on. I just know it's not going to work. This is pretty much about the only time out of the whole thing that I knew it wasn't going to work. Guess what? It worked. Like a cotton picking charm. It was the SO239s the first time. All alone, it was the SO239s. Okay. I want to hear some of y'all's output. Why y'all think the SO239s was causing that? The only thing I can think of is somehow the center conductor was close enough to the ground part of the SO239 to where it did not connect electrically, but it connect electromagnetically. And once I sent a certain amount of power out through it, it somehow locked into each other electromagnetically, and just enough to cause it to stay keyed, oscillate, and throw the power supply and protection. That's the only thing I can think of. Y'all let me know what you think. Alright, now at this point in time, I knew that pretty much at this point in time my weakest link was those used 455s in there. Because this amp is completely new, except the heat sink, the board, these two switches, which I got out of another amp, and the knob, the plastic knob, but everything else is brand new, except them two pills. So I had two brand new SRF 2072s, which are equivalent to 455s, that I had just been kind of hanging on to for a little while. You know, I got pills like that that are brand new that I just hang on to forever for a special occasion. These dang things are like gold. And I was like, I just thought it was right for me to drop them in there. It raised the value of the amp a little bit more. You know, at least a person will know they're getting an amp with brand new transistors and brand new everything. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, 9 times out of 10, I would never sell this amp now with all the work that I put into this. This, I don't even know if you call this a rebuild. What is this, a new build? So, I have really struggled with myself more than any other amp of not selling this. But I'll be honest with y'all, I have too many amps. This is a beautiful amp. It's working very well. It's going to make a good driver. If it did not work as well as it's working, I wouldn't even probably second guess it. I would just sell it and not even second guess it. But it does work well. Swings well. Great dead key. Great reflect. I mean, it is a one of a kind. Let me just stop now. I'm just going to stop this video now probably and delete it. But, you know, I got to make some money, y'all. I'm trying to elevate to the next level. We won't get into all that, though. But let's go ahead and get to the output. This is going to be the longest video I've done yet, and I think this bad boy deserves it. So y'all keep all that in mind when bidding. But I will say this. I might ask a little bit higher reserve for this amp than I have done others. And if it don't sell, I don't think I'm going to try to put it on eBay again. I think I'll be take that as a sign I'm going to keep that bad boy. Because I want to keep it, man. I really do. I really do. But I'm going to give one of y'all a chance to own this bad boy, man. Alright, let's move on. I don't even want to think about that no more. I'm too emotionally attached, fellas. And y'all stay tuned, too. Y'all stay tuned, because, like I said, I'm saving up for something. Get me to the next level. So Mr. Gatekeeper's going to get into his personal stash. I'm talking about the amps I keep inside in the safe. My own personals. The ones I kept out of all the repairs. The ones I couldn't let go of. And you can just go ahead and consider that this is one of them by far. Even though it ain't made it in there to the safe yet. If I wasn't in the mind state I am now of needing to go ahead and get to the next level, gave me a little bit of capital to get there, this would have already been in the safe. So this is one of them, the start of it, of Mr. Gatekeeper opening up his personal builds to y'all. Personal repairs and builds. Alright, let's go ahead and let y'all know what we're putting into this. 1.2 watt dead key. Alright, 20 watts as usual. 13.7 volts. Come on now, Pyramid. Get on that cat picking 13.8, man. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. I'm about to make me a power supply, y'all, where one setting is 13.8 dead and the next one's 15.2 dead on. Alright. Variable all the way down. And before I do this, let me go ahead and show y'all the preamp works. Whew, I dropped it again, man. It's too late, y'all need to get in the bed. Super bright light. Let me show y'all the preamp works very well. I guess it'd help if I... There we go. Didn't turn the switch on all the way. As I've said in other videos, I'm on a dummy load at the moment. The way you can tell the preamp is working is if it basically gives you a hell of a lot of static. The louder the static is, the better it's working. And that, my friend, is working very good. Very, very good. Alrighty, well here we go. Variable all the way down. Let's go ahead and get this done. Alrighty, 30 watts. I'm going to do this really quick. Halfway up, quarter of the way up, 45 watts. Halfway up. That's 75 watts. I'm gonna let that zoom in. Come on now, zoom in. Turn this light out, y'all. Sorry. Still don't want to zoom in. Alright, about 75 watts. Let me show y'all this TX light too. Watch this. See me just key? That TX light didn't come on, did it? Watch. It's activated with your voice. Oh dear. Oh dear. Y'all like that, don't you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The higher your dead key goes, it'll light up on key. I'll show y'all that. Alright, 75% of the way. Good low dead key. You can turn your dead key up on it. I got the dead key down pretty low on this. 1.2 watts. Oh, oh, 143 watts. All the way up. I'll show you a dead key first. About an 18 to 20 watt dead key. Oh, 160 watts, good load SWR. Alrighty, that is all the way up, 160 watts, real good for SRF 2072s. They're not quite as strong as 2290s is, even though they are 60 watts. Something I've learned about them 72s, even though they're 60 watts. They're not as strong as 2290s, but they're good rugged transistors. Very good rugged transistors. Reflect. I did tune. That's another thing. I retuned this amp on the input and the out and mic'd it in. Okay. Like I always do on these amps. A lot of them aren't tuned right by factory, I've noticed. 10 watt slug. 100 equals 10. I'm about to do something about this focusing, y'all. 40 equals 4. Anyway. Oh, look at that. Don't even move. Oh, that's a beautiful tune. Oh, must have something to do with the whole rebuild I done. Oh, damn, gatekeepers bragging on themselves. Oh, I got to sometimes, y'all. Come on now. Oh, that is amazing. I'm serious, y'all. God, I hate to let go of this cotton picker, man. This damn thing ain't got no goddamn reflector. Oh, that damn thing ain't even moving. Y'all see it moving? I don't see it moving. Well, it might be moving a goddamn cunt hair. That's about it. I'm having a good time, y'all. I'm sleep deprived as hell, man. Y'all bear with me, man. Y'all bear with me on this cotton picking. I'm having a fun time out here, man. Feeling good this morning, man. Very proud of myself on this amp. Y'all will never hear me say that again, probably. Never. Find me a video where I told y'all I'm proud of myself. But I'm proud of myself on this cotton picker. This is the last time y'all gonna hear me say that now. Y'all write that down. Alright. 15.2 volts, y'all. 15.2, 15.3 volts. Let her rip. Potato chip. About 190, almost 200. Hit it with a little bit more drive. She'll bust 200, 220. Oh, you can hit this radio with a 25, 30 watt radio, no problem. Just use that variable, ease that variable down, watch your amperage meter, watch your meter, make sure you ain't swinging backwards, make sure you got that forward modulation. Let me show y'all the amperage swing before I stop. A lot of A lot of builders and technicians out there don't let y'all see the amperage swing. That's very important as well. You see that? I can't read. It's dead Kim. Looks like about 8 amps. Oh, 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 so you want to see that forward swing. You want to see it not swing at all, or you want it to swing forward. You do not want that to swing backwards. Same thing with the bird meter. Your pills are in saturation. Now watch this. Take this variable. Watch this. Ease this variable down. See that? Now watch me ease this variable down. See the amperage going down with it? That's what you want to see. Now watch this swing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is an amperage meter, y'all, not a watt meter. It's on my pyramid. Oh yeah. You see it? It's swinging to the same amount of amperage that it was pulling on high. That is what you want out of an amp. It's probably hard to do that on a proprietary already built amp. Sometimes they work out that way, sometimes they don't. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, now you see it's bumping just a little bit more. A little bit more than it was on max. That's the sweet spot. So you always got to find that sweet spot. Sometimes you can't find it unless you're looking at an amperage meter or a bird meter. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the sweet spot. You can hear them things reverberating on you too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, I'm going to try to get a picture of these SRFs before we stop this. There they are. I bought them off a buddy of mine in an RF parts bag, 2 match pair. Go around the amp one good time. It's the longest video I've done yet, y'all. Get some light back here. Put that antenna sticker on there, let y'all know which is which. Got some grommets. They're coming in that. Whoever has this amp, hope you enjoy it. There's only one thing I ask of you. Please write down my address. Okay? Write down my address, my phone number at least. And if you ever decide to get rid of this amp in the future, please, 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 please call me. That's the only agreement that I'm going to make with you. I don't do that on many of my amps. The only ones I've really done that on is the first few builds I ever done. Oh, that preamp works good. If you're an automatic sideband lover, just leave that sideband switch on. That's all you gotta do. Just leave that sideband switch on. Alright, with Gatekeeper signing off. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more, 7, maybe 8 more videos to do, you fellas. We're about to put a big burst of them on eBay. I had to get this one first here. Gatekeeper said it. We turned the lights off, all buttons off, all knobs to the left. Mr. Gatekeeper said it, going on 39 minutes. Good God, please forgive me. We gone.